we are back live on YouTube. It's DJ Ash Noble here. Little bit of a lateish one, and this is a stream that I've kind of wanted to do for quite some time. Um, a couple of weeks back, someone on my page, someone on my Facebook, um, they put quite an interesting post up, and they put some like tips and points about sort of like essentially getting somewhere or trying to get somewhere as a DJ, and they put a post up, and they listed some like points and like things that they think you should do stroke not do, to sort of help better yourself, as say like an upcoming DJ, or I suppose their post was full of things they did that has seemed to work for them. And to be fair, they are quite a few gigs, and they are travelling sort of up and down the UK, and they are doing well for themselves. Um, and I kind of thought, do you know what? I quite like the sort of idea of this post. I like the sort of style of it. Um, but as I was reading it, there was like a few things on the post that I thought was missing. A few things that I essentially have done to better myself um, as a DJ, and just in general things that I just think personally have worked and helped for me. So obviously the big and the main one is, and not everybody is going to have this, but I've got like a really good and supportive friend who like helps me like massively. Everyone knows, of course, that is the layman, and I know there's quite a few people out there that think like, I won't do half the things I do if it wasn't for him, and I beg to differ. I mean, I've got massive respect for the guy. He's helped me out massively, but I do reckon that I have put in a lot of graft myself, and I know a lot of people think, don't like the fact that I've had this good friend who has helped me massively. So not everybody has that, but if you have a good friend who is supportive of what you do, and someone who's always there, and someone who's always keen and willing to help you out, that definitely does give you a head start and a boost. So I guess one thing that I've done that has always sort of like helped me is being very active on social media. So having a Facebook page, having a YouTube channel, having an Instagram account is something definitely always helps you stand out from the crowd. If you just have a normal Facebook account, and you post a few DJ related things on there once in a blue moon, or you have a mix sort of once every so many months, you're not really going to get anywhere as such, because you're not really advertising yourself as a DJ. You're just some normal family man who has a mix now and again. And some people maybe only want to be that person. Some people maybe aren't too fussed to really, sort of like be somebody a little bit more. Maybe they don't just like having a little mix at home once in a blue moon. Another thing that I find helps is being very supportive, being very active in the community of music. So, for example, other DJs posting mixes, give it a share. Other producers, bringing out tunes if it's in like the style of genre that you're into, or if it's in like the type of music that you're mixing. Support it. If you like the track, give it a buy. Encourage other people to buy the track. Just be very supportive in that genre of music. Or if you've got maybe say like a friend, and he maybe does a different genre of music that you're not maybe really necessarily that into, or you don't mix it yourself, still give it a share. Just support that other guy who's obviously doing well, and then people will think, well, this guy's supportive, he's always active, he's always sharing new stuff that's coming about. And I think that definitely helps, massively, sharing, people's tunes about. Be very active at sharing your own stuff as well. So, for example, if you're going to put a mix on, say, SoundCloud or Mixcloud, don't just put it on SoundCloud and Mixcloud and then expect people to listen to it. Like, you know, you've got to share it. You've got to make it sound interesting as well. I see so many people that record a mix and it'll just be like new mix 2022, new bounce mix, new hardcore mix. And there's nothing that's really dragging the to the mix. It's just, oh, new mix. Whereas if you title it maybe like, I don't know, like let's bounce, or bounce with DJ Someone Volume 1 and then Volume 2, is most definitely, you know, it gives it that something a little bit more interesting for people, you know, to click onto. Like, someone put a mix up the other day and it new bounce mix 2022. Didn't even say like new bounce mix by DJ Someone or who the DJ was. It was just new bounce mix 2022. It was about 30 minutes long. It was a decent mix, to be fair. There was no track listing that I could see. One thing I always recommend is, you know, if you can put the track list in there, put the track list in there, because 9 times out of 10 people will listen to a mix and they might hear a song in there and you know, they want to at least know what it is. And you know, if they think, you know, this DJ is good, you know, he's helped me find this tune, or he's, you know, he's shared a link to where you can buy the tune from that he's mixed in the set. So putting a track list in is something that I tend to do. I do it in practically all of my mixes. I think I only maybe missed it out of one mix because I jumped on a competition last minute, and I just got it out there as quick as I could. And to be honest, as I was mixing it, I didn't document down the tracks I was playing, and because I went through a couple of different tunes as well, I wasn't sure on like the artists and, you know, who did the Pacific remixes. But I always try and put some form of catchy title. I always put like a track list, and I always share it about, you know, tag people in it, try and get people to see the mix and stuff like that. And that's something that I always find helps me out massively. The next one for me is live streaming. Now, you know, I'm in a little bit of a, you know, like I can't judge people because I used to be the same. But going live with decent sound audio is definitely going to help you so much better. If you go live without like an iRig or without like a direct line in, the audio just sounds muffled, it just sounds awful. You can't hear the tracks properly. Someone knocks on your door, you're going to hear them knock on your door. You start having a Barney with your missus, everyone's going to hear the missus on the live having a Barney. For example, how I'm streaming now, if someone knocked on my door right now, you'd hear it, do you know what I mean? Because there's no as such direct feed coming in, it's just me talking to the camera. But when you do it and you're going live, it's completely, it just sounds bad. And I know this because I used to do it myself before I had such a thing as iRig. And I know when like Facebook Live first became a thing, DJs jumped on it like massively, because it was the first, you know, time we could actually do it, and we hadn't really discovered the lining really as such back then. For the Facebook Lives, etc. You know, it was like a new thing. The second thing for live streaming is the camera angle. So about the way you present the live and the way you go live. So if you go live with your little controller and you've got it in the kitchen and you know, there's a pile of washing in the background and you haven't cleared up the tea time pots, or you know, you've got a sink behind you that's full of washing up to do, it's not really going to sell yourself too well as a DJ. People don't really want to sit there and see that sort of you know, sort of like all that sort of like mess in the background. They don't really want to see your kids running about either. To be honest with you, and I know because I've gone live, or I've been at friends' houses and they've gone live in that environment, where there has been maybe like a pile of washing in the background and the kids have run by. So what I do recommend, if you can, or if you've got the space, get yourself a green screen, get yourself just like a nice back. Have to go too over the top, you can just put your DJ logo in the background, you know, maybe just over like a nice brick wall or something, or you can just get like loads of like moving sort of you know, sort of like clip animations of like waveforms and different shapes and different dimensions. You can have them things, you know, happening, or you could maybe have like a Rubik's getting solved. Just something that looks a bit more sort of like, you know, good to the eye. Or if you don't necessarily have a green screen or you can't put one up, just make sure you've got like a nice sort of area that's clean and tidy, you know, maybe like a little music area, or something like that. I mean, obviously, I do understand that not everybody has the, you know, the best of abilities, and, you know, they do start out, you know, on the smallest of equipments. And obviously, I do understand that people do have to start somewhere, but once you can start investing and upgrading, making your camera angles better, then I would recommend doing so, because I've gone live with bad angles before. I've gone live with bad sound, and it doesn't really do yourself no favors. And when I started going live with the green screen about a year ago, just over, that's for me when I started mega improving. I was getting more viewers on the live. It was more attractive. It was more entertaining. Another thing regarding the lives as well, what I think helps the best is if you're happy in yourself, and you know, if people can see you smiling, if people can see you dancing around and enjoying the music, you know, you don't have to dance around like a clown as such, but if they can just see that you're maybe head bopping, or you're just genuinely enjoying the music, and you know, you're just buzzed, and you know, you're not just doing a live because I'm bored and there's nothing else to do. You know, if people see that you're genuinely happy, then that will work, you know, definitely a lot better in your favour, because they can see that this DJ is loving it, make more. And also having a microphone and being interactive with your viewers is like a good thing. Like, there will be some people that will throw up a live and they'll just stand there and mix for an hour. They'll look as boring as ever. They won't interact on the mic, they won't even check the comments, you know, and for all they know, you know, they just don't necessarily, you know, really do anything. And sometimes this can work bad in their favour as well, because I've known DJs that have maybe set up a live stream, they've not had a mic, they've not been interactive with the viewers, and they've had a sound issue, and they've been streaming for like half an hour straight. No one's, you know, everyone's like finished locking on, because the stream's obviously got no sound, and you know, the DJ is not interacting to let them know, so he's just sort of played, you know, with no sound to people for half an hour, and then he's lost all his viewers, and you know, played to himself. So having a mic, just giving a few people a shout out, you know, all you got to do is just read a few names out. If you're not really confident on the mic, like, you don't have to go telling, you know, full stories. You can just sort of say like, thank you for locking in, or if you just at least shout a few names out, it just, you know, it just makes the stream a little bit more entertaining, exciting for you as well. And being frequently up to date as well. So like, if you are doing like weekly lives, etc., and then say for 1 week you can't make it, just put a little post up and say you can't make it. Or if you're having to go on at an earlier time, or you're going at a later time, just let people know. Also promote and share your live streams as well, or maybe like make like a little poster or something just to share before you to go live, you know, a few days, maybe a week in advance, and just say, look, on the 12th of blah blah blah, 12th of June, you know, we're gonna go live, and we're gonna do this, that, and the other. You know, make sure you can lock in, and here's where you can lock in. So promote sort of like where you're gonna be streaming, what you're gonna be streaming. Another one, streaming on multiple platforms is always a good idea as well. I don't do it myself because I haven't got a proper internet connection at the moment, so it'll probably won't be quick enough just on mobile data. But I know one DJ that goes live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok all at the same time, and you know, gets absolute viewers. Set days for going live as well, and it absolutely works for her. So that is another good thing as well. Another good thing is your image as well. You know, the way you look, the way you dress. If you know, if you come home from work and you throw up a live in your work clothes, you're gonna look a little bit, you know, not too good. You know, so sort of keep up to date. Do this so I can, you know, I can definitely, you know, I'm not one to talk. You know, I'm one to talk. You know, at the moment, I actually do need a shave myself. I've run out of shaving foam, so I'm gonna buy some tomorrow. Um, but yeah, all about the way you look, really. The way you, again, with your camera angles as well. Like maybe this angle where I'm sat now isn't the best angle. I mean, it's got the decks in the background. I could have picked a worse angle, but I could have picked a better angle at the same time. If that makes sense. But yeah, the image is definitely important. You know, if you're getting a booking as well, you know, turn up in something nice. You know, look like you actually want to be here. Look like you want to make an effort. Things will go well in your favour. The next thing, and this is the big one for me, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I think I've done well as a DJ, and this is all about what you post online. So, what I mean by what you post online, so say for example, you're a DJ, and for whatever reason you know you have a Barney with your girlfriend, and you put the whole Barney on Facebook, and there's all this drama, and you're kicking off, and you know you're depressed, and then one day you're selling your decks, and then the next day, you know you're loving the music, and then the day after that you're giving it all up because you're not getting no bookings. You know, if you are that sort of person, and you know every time you go through like a bad patch in your life, or you go through an issue, and you share it all on Facebook, you know, or the ex won't let me see the kids, and um, I get no bookings, I just feel like giving up, does anybody want to buy a full setup, and you know, blah blah blah, and all this, that, and I'm hanging the headphones up, I can't take it, I can't do it no more. You know, a bit of an attention seeking post. People aren't really going to want to sort of like, I guess, book that person or interact with that DJ, especially if, you know, they book him and then they think, well, you know, what if he has a meltdown and then he can't make the gig? Um, you know, and stuff like that. So I always watch what I post. I mean, you know, everybody has things that goes on in their life. They have good days, they have bad days. You know, I've had some bad days in the past where things haven't gone too well for me, and you know, you know, I've just not posted them on Facebook. I've sort of remained to stick to this happy sort of character. So on Facebook, I'm always having a laugh, and I'm always sharing a meme, or I'm always sharing something up and coming. So if I've got like a gig coming up, I'm always sharing it happily. But deep down, the truth is you know, I could be having an actual awful day in real life. But I just think, you know, there's certain people that don't need to know, and you don't want to glow everything out, you know, that you're going through, and you need all these, you know, these things sort of popping off and going on. Again, if you've got an issue with another DJ or another artist, and for whatever reason you've had a little bit of a Barney, if you start posting it all over Facebook and you start shedding hate to that DJ, and that DJ sheds it back to you, hate as well, it's not going to look good for both of you. And the more enemies you've got in the music scene, the less chance you know you will get booked, because you know, there will be times where you'll get asked to do something, and then your enemy will be on the same lineup, and then, you know, just for example, you know, you won't be able to do the gig, or they'll say, look, I was going to put you on this lineup, but we, you know, we put so and so on, and you two don't get along, and then you're going to be even more angrier because that person you don't like got the booking and you didn't. Um, Whereas for me, there's not one person. Well, actually, I tell a lie. There's one person, but there's like a really good, valid reason for it. And this guy doesn't play out anyway. Doesn't really DJ much, I don't think. But other than that, there's not really a single person that like I wouldn't go B2B with, or like I wouldn't, you know, do a gig, because at the end of the day, to me, a gig is a gig, and anything that's gonna better my music career, you know, I kind of see it a bit like a job. You know, there's people we like, there's people we don't like. You know, you get on and you do it, kind of thing. If you want to better your music career, or you've got chance of a booking, especially if it's going to be a paid booking, you know, don't turn it down just because there's someone on the flyer you don't like. Like, you know, to me, putting up with someone you don't like for a few hours and earning money from it, in my opinion, is worth it. You just, be civil with the person, or just don't speak to the person, because it'll better yourself, and then promoters aren't going to think, well, we can't book her with her because they don't get along. We can't book him with him because they'll probably end up scrapping. And then at the end of the day, it's just going to make yourself look bad, when there's certain events and certain places you can't go and play because you've got an issue with somebody. It just doesn't look good on your behalf, if that makes sense, and it's just an awful thing, to go through, the fact that you're not going to get bookings, all because, you've just got beef with, maybe one person, and it's ruining your chances somewhere. Another thing that I've learned as well is, don't take a booking if you're not certain you can get to the booking. Now, obviously, sometimes things happen, emergencies, go wrong. Like I took a booking for the 27th of May, and then a 28th, I think it was either 27th or 28th, and I sadly had to pull out of it because I had my bad toothache situation. That was something that was unfortunate. It's just something that sadly just ended up happening. It couldn't be helped. But yeah, don't, unless, if you're not sure you can get there, and you just sort of take the booking for the sake of being able to post and say I'm on a flyer, don't do it. I mean, I don't drive myself at the moment, so for me, I've always got to rely on, is my friend going to be able to drive me? And sometimes, we will be going to the same gig. Sometimes if I'm DJing, he'll be doing the photos, so it'll work out in that sort of, it'll work out sort of as an advantage. Or sometimes I'll get a booking somewhere and he won't be actually anywhere himself, and he'll come along and get into the venue, and then, it creates a contact for him. But if I can't get to the venue itself, or I think, this is going to be a struggle to get there, or if I just think it's not going to be worth it, for example, if it's just going to end up costing me too much, then just do not simply take the booking. If you think you can get there, and it's going to benefit you, then most certainly, try and do the booking if you can. But it doesn't look good on your behalf if you're letting promoters down at the last minute, because then they've still got to find somebody else, and they've then got to think like, right, who am I going to put on at the last minute? Especially if you pull out the day before, or if you pull out, a couple of days before. So I always like to at least, if I am going to pull out, or if I've got a valid reason even to pull out, unless of course it really is unexpected, I do like to at least give it sort of like a week and a half to 2 weeks before the event, so they have got that initial time to find a replacement. But deep down on the bottom line is I do not like pulling out of bookings, and I do believe if I take a booking, I've got a sort of duty to do that booking. When they've paid and had like artwork made, and when they've put so much effort into putting a night on, and then you just tell them at the last minute that you're not going to be there, it really doesn't look good on your behalf. So my best advice is don't take a booking if you can't get there. Like if no one's available on that date to drive you, so for example, if you get asked for a booking and they say it's the 28th of so and so, just say, right, I'll get back to you, because I don't drive, you see. I'll get back to you ASAP. I'll see if I can get a lift available, rather than saying yes, then trying to get a lift available and then having to pull out, because it just doesn't look, it doesn't look good on your behalf. The next thing for me, I think is most definitely a big thing, is going and supporting other events. So getting out there. If you're not playing somewhere yourself, or you've got a few free weekends yourself where you're not playing, go and support some other events. If you've got local nights that are going on, go and support the nights, and just genuinely just be supportive, share the flyers, just go and just be sort of like very supportive of the night, and don't go begging promoters for sets. Like, just be yourself, go and support the event, Maybe send a demo to the page, or if they've got competitions running, enter the competitions. Go and show your face, talk to the promoters, be nice, don't be in people's faces, don't be acting like a kid around the other DJs. Just go and be yourself, make connections, talk to people, enjoy the night. Don't take liberties as well. You go and pay the door price, go in, a few drinks, support the night, support the venue, and stuff like that. And I think one thing that I do that is really good, whether I'm playing or I'm not playing, is I will do streams and I'll talk about the events and I'll big the events up, and I'll self promote by coming on the camera and talking with my mouth as well, and I'll give people a little bit of an insight as to what actually happened on the night as well. Good sets, and then people might think, what, I actually, I want to go and attend the next one, and see what the next one's all about. I think that is an absolutely massive thing, is to go and support other people's events. And I'm not saying drive somewhere every single weekend, but just show your face at a few events. I know there's people that where like loads of local events have happened around the area and people have not gone and shown their faces at one. Another one as well is, don't turn down a booking if it means you can't have a drink. And I know this is this is a bit of a controversial one, but the way I see it at the end of the day is, what's more important, how far you progress with music or having a piss up. Now, I know of people that haven't wanted to go and attend bookings because they've had to drive themselves, and if they have to drive, then they have a drink. Or if they want to have a drink, that means then that they have to book into a hotel, and it just essentially means that it ends up costing them a lot more in price, when they essentially because they want to go and have a few beers, and I just think personally doing the gig is more important than having a piss up. And to be honest with you, I'll be completely truthful, I am more or less teetotal. I've actually practically given up drinking full stop, and I've done this to better myself with the music, because one of the big reasons that made me want to do this is I went to the Harder Southwest Festival last year. It was actually nearly a year ago, believe it or not. And anyway, the point being, and the point I want to make is that I got too drunk and missed a set, and then I got drunk again on the second night, and I made a little bit of a fool of myself, and I didn't give myself that sort of good image. So now I go to all these different events. I'm showing my support. I'm driving. I'm traveling with my friend up and down the country, and I'm keeping it sober. I'm enjoying the night, and I'm just being very supportive. I'm not getting drunk. I'm not falling into people. I'm not getting too drunk and blurting out things that I shouldn't say. And I'm not just giving that sort of like bad image. I'm not getting asked to leave by the bouncers because I've had too much. And it's just the way I've chose to be. If you want your music to do well, you've got to make that choice. Do you want to just go and have a piss up at the event, or do you actually want to get somewhere and do well? And I'm not telling people that they have to give up drinking, but if you do want to really make like an out of town booking, and you want to drive it and save on the hotel, then just don't have a drink. I just think it's a little bit of a simple one, really. And if you can't do a booking without having to have a drink, then maybe you have got a little issue. Who knows? Because some people even claim that they mix better when they've had a drink, and they don't mix when they haven't had a drink. And I just think, well, are you just somebody that likes to jump behind the decks after a drink, or do you actually really want to be, do you really want to be a DJ in that sense? But yeah, these have just been tips, really. As I say, someone put a post up on Facebook a couple of weeks back. It listed some good points. I might have missed some of their points out, I don't know. But essentially, these are just some of the things that I feel have helped me as a DJ. So, like I say, going live with the good camera angles, having that good image, keeping a lot of your sort of like life problems and arguments off of Facebook, and not going around slagging other events off and slagging people off, and again, if there's more than one event in the same town and it's a similar style of music, like just give different things a chance to have a go. Don't be instantly trying to create a battle and a war just because they're doing something that you're doing, or again, you getting a little nervous that they might do better than you, or something like that. And another thing as well, one last tip is never forget. If someone outdoes you wrong, or if someone does happen to annoy you, like I said, don't go having a full barney about it on Facebook. But just never forget. Just simply never forget. And I'm not gonna name any person on this situation. But I only got a message from somebody just the other day. It was quite a nice message actually. And it was kind of just about like helping each other out and stuff like that. And I'll always help you out where I can, etc. And then I seen something on Facebook today, I don't really know how to word it because I'm not like entirely like fussed over the situation itself, but I do feel a little bit like what I was told in the inbox a couple of days ago was a little bit of a lie, if that makes sense. It's a little bit of a hard one because I don't want to start like naming the situation as such, but essentially, I got a text the other day. It was like about helping. It was about like helping each other out, and I'll always help you out where I can. Blah blah blah. When I'm doing things, and then essentially they did something popped up today, that I was unaware about. I'd never even been spoke to about it. I never even knew it was happening. I never even got told like a yay or a nay, and it turned out to be a nay. It essentially turned out to be a nay, and and this is the thing, and this is why I say never forget, because I did a couple of other things last year with some other people, and then they did the first one of this year, and they inboxed me and they just explained and said, look, you're not going to be a part of this one, blah blah blah, but we will be still working with you in the future, etc. So they just sort of said, like, look, you're not going to be a part of this one. Now, when I worked with this other person the first time, who was kind of just like sacked me off, if you like. I guess that's how we'll say it. They bigged it up to be this like big thing, and hopefully the first of many, and we're a team, and blah blah blah. And then I get a message the other day like, I'll always help you out where I can, and then I've just totally been like unobliged to something that's happened. And I know at the last time, so some issues did go wrong on my behalf. I had a few little issues myself, where I could have been a bit better myself. And I know things didn't completely go totally right, but I just prefer people to, like to talk to me, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. So all I'm saying is, on the situation, and what I like give as advice to other people is like never forget. If people sort of like outdo you wrong, just don't forget. And then when it comes to you maybe doing something, and then they're thinking like, that they want to be a part of it, and then they're not a part of it, because remember when you did it to me, now I'm doing the same back to you. And there's people that have like lacked in their support, etc. Like with me over the years of music, and people that you think are your so-called friends, and they turn out not to be your so-called friend. And then you'll do something, and then they'll expect that that you're gonna involve them, or you're gonna help them, and you're gonna push them. and I even sadly sort of it wasn't planned, but I ended up falling out with a guy over his girlfriend. Well, I never really fell out with the guy as such, but I fell out with his girlfriend over something so petty and stupid. And now because of that, like, we don't really talk, and he's like completely gone quiet. And essentially, I got my Harder Southwest Fest booking last year, and essentially, I shared the flyer, and I got a message from my friend's girlfriend, and said, you know, like, where's, what's this festival you're putting on? And I wasn't even putting on the festival to start with, and she asked me, that I should have put, her bloke's name on the flyer. Now, obviously, I can't just put someone's name on the flyer. So, for example, if I got a booking tomorrow, I couldn't say, oh, stick DJ Tommy on as well. People have got to put, their own effort and their own work in. So, obviously, I couldn't put this person on the flyer out. I wasn't running the event. It was just something that I'd been asked personally myself to play for. So to cut the story short, she had a little bit of a huff, and people weren't supporting her, and people weren't supporting him, and people weren't supporting this newborn, the stress that she was going through, and if it's that stressful for you, why did you have another kid? And then in the process, I got blocked. And the thing is I never fell out with the bloke, and we always had like quite a good relationship. I used to go around to his house quite often, and have a few beers and a mix, and I was sort of very supportive that way. There was a couple of times in lockdown where I streaming on like quite a biggish page, and I tried to get him involved. I said, look, this guy's willing to do a set on the page as well, but you can only help somebody so much. And then obviously if they aren't pushing themselves, you can only push them so far. It's just a shame. It's just a real shame, because we had a good friendship, and he had a good friendship with loads of other people as well. And his girlfriend just went and blocked and removed a load of people, just essentially because she thought that because they were doing something, they could just get him on it as well. But that's not the case. I can't just go to any event that I'm playing at and say put DJ Tommy on the flyer, or for example put DJ Neil on as well, or I want to go B2B with Neil, and blah blah blah. That kind of thing. And that's just essentially, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it goes. So never forget, like, about jealous people and streaks. And I know, when I do a few things, people will get a shock because I won't include them. I'll be doing a few things in the future. People, won't be included. And I know, that this will be the same, for some of my other friends as well. They'll do some things, and people will think like, yeah, I'll love to do something like this, and then they'll find out they're not a part of it, and and it'll shock them. But if you don't support, you're not gonna get the support back. Do you know what I mean? You not support someone, but expect them to support you. So for example, like, if you don't support someone, and support events and what they're doing at, you can't expect them to put you on, for example. So but anyway, like I say, this was just a little bit of a random stream. It was just essentially, like I say, it was just about sort of like a few tips that have helped me along the way, a few things that I sort of choose to believe in as well, and a few things that I like to do, just to better myself, and just a few things about how I feel, and what I think has has obviously worked for me. And stuff like that. And like I say, a lot of them work. Like, I'm very active in like the the bounce scene. I was like, you know, if I can, you know, I always buy new tracks. I always share and support the new tracks. I put regular mixes out. I'm always going about supporting the events and, you know, going with a positive attitude. And like I say, you know, you never see me putting any sort of negativity on Facebook. I'm not having a full blown argument with someone on Facebook. I'm not putting any posts up about giving up or that's it. You know, I've had enough now, or you know, you know, for whatever reason. You know, everything's always sort of like happy and positive, and it's the next thing I'm doing music wise. So, you know, when people do scroll down my profile, they'll see, look, he's playing here. He's shared a funny joke there. He's had a laugh there. He's got a good community there. Oh, he's gone live, and he's got a nice screen, and you can hear the sound clear enough, and oh, he's hyping up on the mic and stuff like that. And then oh look, he's shared this flyer. Look, it looks like his friends playing at it. You know, or he's just genuinely shared the flyer because you know it looks like a good night. Um, you know, and I just thought the post that this other person had done was a really good post. But I just thought, you know, that there's a few things that I'd like to add to it. And I'm more of I do like to come live and talk kind of person. And to be fair, there was nothing really planned. Like I had no events to announce on stream, and you know there was nothing to really talk about too much. So I thought, you know, let's address this topic. You know, and let me sort of explain a few things, you know, what I've done that I think have helped me. But there you go. So make sure to like, comment, share, and peace out, people. We'll see you next time. In the next stream.